Welcome back, everyone, here to the Writer's Parachute. We are back for a second season, and we're so excited to have with us a returning guest. We have today with us Jeff Christian. He has a second book out in the Pizza Days series. It is called Lucy's Secret Sauce. So we're going to talk about that. That's coming out on, you said June 23rd. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, so we're looking forward to that. I got an advanced copy you see back there behind me. So we're very excited. So we're going to talk to Jeff about that today. Of course, we always would like you to hit that subscribe button and follow us at thewritersparachute.com or at Writers Parachute on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. So let's go ahead and get on with the show. We have with us today Jeff Christian, and we're going to interview him in a second. But of course, always we start out with a topic of the week. So this season, we're going to talk a lot about reviews because reviews are king when you are an author and a writer. They're very important. It is about what gets you noticed out in the public sphere. It sells books. It gets you on television shows. It gets you more media attention. It gets you what you need to be discovered. So we're going to talk a lot about reviews, but today we're just going to talk about the basics and things that you can do as an author to start gathering those reviews. First of all, ask for reviews. Ask on your social media channels. Ask on your website. It doesn't have to be big, just something that says, we love reviews, and a link to where they can go to leave you a review. Also, add them to your newsletters if you're doing newsletters. Add it to the back of your book. A simple thank you or a simple I like this book is all that's required. It doesn't have to be complicated. Now, Amazon has some really strict rules, but you can give people sample ideas about how to do reviews. But I always strongly suggest anytime somebody is writing a review, because it can get complicated with some of the rules, is to have them sign out of all social media and then go to the site and write the review. That way you don't run into any kind of complication problems, and it also protects your data a little better. So just take that as our tip. We're not going to dive too deep today, but I did want to let you know, start thinking about those reviews early. Early reviews before you get the book out are important, but even more so after the book is out into the public sphere. So let's go ahead and talk with Jeff. As I said, Jeff has a new book. It's a second book in the Pizza Days series. It is called Lucy's Secret Sauce. So Jeff, growing up in Campbell, California, is one of 8 children. He learned the value of serving others, mostly by witnessing his mother, that he models Mrs. Rock after, to do just that on a daily basis. The Pizza Day series is created to share life's values through a pizza making experience. Igniting greatness in people through storytelling is one of Jeff's focuses and his reason for writing the Pizza Day series. He believes in all people and is passionate in encouraging them to overcome life's challenges. His keys to success: take time to slow down, to truly see each other, to be seen, and to listen with intention to one another. The Pizza Day series takes young readers, families, teachers, teams, and anyone else interested on a journey to better themselves. Welcome to the Writer's Parachute, Jeff. How are you today?
Great. Thank you for having me, and so excited to get to spend some time with you and your listeners, and always appreciate all your help and guidance that you've given me over the years.
Well, thank you. I'm so excited to be the first one to interview you about this new book. It's very exciting. I always love series. I'm kind of a series person myself. And, it's always nice to not just leave those characters hanging out there in the ether. Let's give them an afterlife and continue their story. So this book, Lucy's Secret Sauce, is basically about Mrs. Rock returning to her classroom and continue the pizza making process lessons with her own dog, Lucy, and trying to foster gratitude and more of a connection. So what would you say, or what would you like readers to get from this book, Lucy's Secret Sauce?
To just jump to the end, just a heart full of love and appreciation for the furry friends that we've had in our lives or currently have, and I don't want to get teary eyed, but I've had three boxers, and my most recent dog Jack just passed. And yeah, they just become such a big part of your family. And in writing this second book, I just knew I had to make it about my dogs and everything that they've provided for my family. And then, not to switch subjects on you too, but I worked as a college nurse at Sacramento City College, and Wendy, my coworker, uh, brought her therapy dog, and she created the whole kind of before therapy dogs were almost a thing. She kind of started that.
Mhm.
And just to see the results that pets have on people, and in our case students coming in with anxiety and depression, and they would sit there, and Pet Sadie was her dog's name, just incredible the effect. And so I want people, through reading my second book, to just realize there's hope. There's furry friends that are available to be part of your life, and then to realize also that we all have our own secret sauce, and if we can create space within each other to bring that out, that's the best world and the kind of world that I want to live in.
Well, I agree with you, and I loved reading through Lucy's Secret Sauce because Lucy teaches lessons in a very interesting way, almost like, small children sometimes. It's like they're doing the wrong thing, but they're teaching you something important. So I did love that, and it's a very fun adventure. I mean, there is some sadness at the end, but you handled it very well, and I think it was Lucy's final lesson. So I love that. So tell us a little bit about you as an author and a writer. What kind of led you to writing this book, writing this series, and why did you want to be an author?
Yeah, I didn't want to be an author. I never would have thought that growing up that I would have authored one book, let alone two, and then I'm writing three more. So, but what led me to it, I think, was probably my nursing background. A good chunk of my career, I worked at UC Davis in the trauma ICU, and I've been surrounded by death. And when you see people, shot, stabbed, really bad car accidents, you start to have an appreciation for each and every day that we're blessed to walk this earth. And so I just say, I'm getting older. I want to make sure that I leave something behind. I want my grandkids and my kids and anybody else that wants a positive message. And I said, let me just start putting pen to paper and see what happens. And then I think also everybody has so many stories inside them. And it's valuable to share them with the world. And so I guess that's part of why I wanted to just start writing children's books.
Right. And I think, they talk about storytelling being one of the first forms of communication. I mean, we see it in the cave walls and the paintings on those and the different things from, hundreds of thousands of years ago, that, even millions of years ago. And you think about that in relation to what we do, and there is always new stories to tell, and I do love this story. So what I want to know is, everybody has a new journey, and that's what we talk about here on the writer's parachute. So I want to know, what problems or obstacles or interesting things did you run into while you were doing this particular book?
Yeah, this one, I think time, I think life happens. And like I said, everybody has their story and you want to get it out. And then time happens, and kids are moving out and they got stuff going on, and life just issues. And so I think my biggest obstacle was, when can I block out the right time to be in the right space? And I think that's a key thing for people that are perhaps wanting to write their first book, is, when are you in your creative space? And
Mhm.
then can you organize your day to make sure you capture that time with your creativity? And I don't even know if that makes sense, but for me, I love to get up early in the morning, before it's light, and then I'll go walk, and that kind of gets my creativity going. So if I can come home fairly quickly over the next couple hours, get a cup of coffee, but then sit and really just write and think and put pen to paper, that's when I'm at my best. But if for some reason something happens after I'm done with that walk, now I've mismanaged my time, and I'm not going to have the same creativity and efficiency in trying to get the work done.
Right, and that is a big key to it. It's like you have to kind of first figure out when you're creative, and then you have to kind of get rid of all of the things that are in your head that are getting in the way of that creativity. And you have to deal with that. And the one thing I will throw out here is the biggest tip that I tell authors and writers is you have to schedule that time like it's an appointment. You have to block out that time on your schedule, even if you just sit there and think your way through it. My husband will come in and ask me what I'm doing when I'm laying on the couch, and I'm like, I'm plotting. Because I do my best plotting when I'm laying down, and because I can imagine what's happening. So it isn't always just writing, like as you said, while you're out with your walk or run, you're doing that, you're figuring it out, you're figuring out the story, and then you have to sit and write it down. So yeah, that's kind of one of the first hurdles, I think, for most authors. And of course, in and around the country, this is one of the good things that came out of COVID is a lot of people opened up these writing groups online. So you don't have to be within driving distance from one. There are so many of them out there that are available to anybody that needs it. So it's a community, and of course, you are writing individually, but you know, it's good to have that camaraderie and know that you're not in it alone. And if you have a question, somebody might be able to help you. So, those are really good points. So, I want to know, with this particular book and with your other book and series, what do you think readers are going to think of your book in, let's say, 10 or 20 years down the road?
Yeah, that's a great and tough question. And I think they're going to know that this author had a hope for the world and for readers to realize that there's so much good in the world. And I think Mrs. Rock, the way that she teaches her students and just kind of loves them for who they are and allows them to work through life and making mistakes and dealing with challenges and continuing, in the first book to rise together, I think is something that the reader will get regardless. And I tried writing these books. It's funny you asked that question because I tried writing these books to be timeless pieces. And that was a big part of finding an illustrator that, whether I did it or not, I think I did, but it's up to the people that are going to look at the book and read the book. But I feel like Catherine, and that's my illustrator, that she captured it in a timeless fashion. And so to be able to have young people pick that book up 10 years from now and feel like it's still relevant and a timeless piece written by this author that just wanted to inspire and provide hope is what I hope people will take from the books.
Well, I think that they will have no problem with that. The core of your books and your story, I believe, is timeless. The circumstances might change slightly, but the core meaning and message and the storytelling, I think, are going to last for a very long time. So let's talk just a little bit about the series and this idea around pizza and pizza making. So, can you talk a little bit for those out in the audience that really haven't heard of your book or haven't read them yet? So, why was pizza making such a good vehicle for you to tell these stories?
I just think anytime, well, one, it's the world's number one favorite food. And
Mhm.
so just about everybody loves pizza. Uh, Two, I think when you mix in food and fire, it just creates an atmosphere that's just so peaceful where people can literally come to the table and come together. And that's what I'm trying to do. So my books are part of my nonprofit where that's one little component, is trying to reach youth and families through these books to come together and sit down and just have great conversations. The second part is we do kind of team building and leadership development within that same space. And there's so many tie-ins to the books and just life and the pizza that I make. And one of the reasons why I'm using that is it's sourdough pizza, homemade hand toss. And sourdough, you have to feed the starter in order to keep that alive. And in the first book, We Rise Together, that's a big part of what Mrs. Rock is doing, is teaching her students how to feed their starter. And I equate that to what actions are the students taking on the daily to nurture their heart and soul. And so there's just so much that goes into that. And then I think in the second book, and just this pizza making process overall, I would say that would be one of the first steps, is feeding the starter. The second step I would put into kind of kneading your dough. And that's kind of like the relationships. And when you make pizza and kneading of the dough, the proteins start to come together. And that's kind of your foundation and your trust that you have in your life. And then I think adding your toppings and being receptive to trying other people's toppings, and those I would equate to the values that people have in their life. And so many times we can gain so much from each other by just sitting there. Hey, let me try a slice of yours. I've never tried black olives, or I've never tried jalapenos. And now we get to appreciate, so to say, a diverse kind of pizza that we're getting to snack on. And so I don't want to get too long-winded, but there's so much of life that comes out in eating pizza. And then just, again, you mix in fire and it's just magic. It's just magic.
Well, I agree with you, and you've handled it very well. But interesting extra that you've added to these books is in the first book, We Rise Together, you actually give the recipe for making sourdough pizza, for making the dough. And then here in the second book with Lucy's Secret Sauce, you're adding the sauce recipe. So I'm kind of, nice little segue there to get people to keep going so they can get the full recipe for these pizzas. So I'm excited. It's like I think I need you to get those other books going a little faster so I can make my full pizza.
They're coming in good time. One a year, one a year.
Oh, I don't know if I can wait 3 more years or 5 more years to get my full pizza in, which they don't have to if you live here in the Northern California area, because you have an extra kind of interesting way of teaching these lessons. And I saw some video that you showed me from one of the schools you went to. So you also are the pizza guy with the pizza truck, and you're going to like schools and groups and stuff here in the Northern California area. So do you have a like a range if somebody was interested in that and they wanted to contact you about having the pizza guy and the pizza truck come in and visit with them?
Not really. I mean, we're doing it in Northern California, and just want to go and build community and bring people together. So within reason, the truck is a big truck. The pizza oven is 3,000 pounds. And then by the time you load that up with dough and everything, it gets pretty heavy. So it gets about 12 miles to the gallon. But I have time, and I would love to have people reach out. The best way is just jeff@c4leaders.org is an email. But yeah, anytime we get to just bring people together, that's what we're doing. And very excited. We started these what are called C4 Rise Ups, where we're just going to go pick a park. And I'm actually doing one this Sunday locally here in Vacaville. Pick a park, drive up. I'm making 50 pizzas, going to hand out 15 books, and just create that atmosphere that we've been talking about. There's no charge for anything. It's all free on these Rise Ups. and just so excited to just have people come out, because the pizza oven, and again, you can check out pizzadays.org. There's a video at the bottom to see it, but it's just a beautiful work of art that just attracts people to just come up. And then it's wood fired pizza. And so
Mhm.
the smell is just it's just a multi-sensory experience. And so excited to just bring that to communities and families and businesses. And yeah, no, so much fun.
Well, that's very exciting. So, if they go to your website, pizzadays.org, will they see a listing of any of those rise ups that you're going to have in the future in case they might be in the Northern California area and they might want to sneak by and grab some pizza?
They will. It's not, the sites are getting updated and these rise ups are new, that we're doing. And so excited, but yeah, they definitely will. And I would say, yeah, stay in touch through that website. It's going to be the best way to find them.
All right, awesome. So, and I suppose if they really needed to know, they could reach out to you through the website, the Jeff at c4leaders.org, and see if you couldn't get an actual date if it's not up there for you. So, we're very excited about that. So, I want to know if you could go back to the beginning when you first started, what do you think you would change? What do you wish you would know? And what do you wish someone had told you?
Well, I'm going to start with the end, because, and I'm not trying to give you a big head, but you kind of prepared me well and guided me through so much. And yeah, because you don't know what you don't know. And so there's just so much out there, and your little cheat sheet that you created for your clients is an invaluable resource. But I think to answer the rest of the question, it's interesting because you get your book out and it feels so good and so emotional, and you tear up when you get your artist proof, and you're so excited to just share that. You put your heart on paper and you get it out, and you wanted people to start buying it, and you want to start seeing reviews, and you want things to happen faster than they're gonna happen, for sure. And I
Mhm.
think for me, I got wrapped up. I wanted more sales, and I wanted more reviews. And you would check in on your Amazon site under your authors kind of section, and I guess that would be something that I know I won't do on this second book, is more so trust the process, and you wrote your book, you got it out there, trust the process, that when the time is right, people are going to find it,
Yep.
and to take action towards helping them find it, but don't
Mhm.
get wrapped up in trying to check and see how many books you've sold and how many reviews you have. I don't know if you'll like those comments or not. And I know reviews are everything, just like your tip, but you can't control when people are going to do that.
Mhm.
And so I think that was one of the things for me early, is I wanted to see kind of more reviews coming in. And then it just takes your focus and your energy off things that you can't control.
Right.
And so that would be a tip that I would give myself moving forward for this second book that's getting ready to get released, like we said, June 23rd.
Okay. Well, and I agree with you because one of my go-to comments that I talk to all authors, whether they've written 50 books or whether this is their first book, it's a marathon. It is not a sprint. Once your book is published, it's out there forever, or as long as you're willing to let it be out there. So yes, you may not get the reviews in that first month. You may not get it in the first 6 months, and you may not get it in the first year or two. But as you and I both know, especially writing a series, the more you write, the more that puddle, that little ripple in the pond from the one rock starts going out and making more and more ripples, and it goes further and further away. And that's kind of what you have to do. You have to trust that process, that it will come to you. It's like chasing, again, what you said, things that you can't control. It's like, yes, do the things that you know. And a lot of times, most new authors don't know all of the pre-work that they should be doing. And they get to that point when they're ready to publish and they're like, well, I didn't do that. no, I didn't do that either. And that's okay, because you'll know better next time. You're always going to be better. And that's just part of the process. And I agree with you. You have to just trust the process. And remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. We're not running to the finish right now. In fact, the goalposts keep moving away. So I want to know, what keeps you going on the tough days?
Just people, and knowing that the work that you're doing is going to help somebody when they need it. And just like you said, it's a marathon, and the book is out there. And I know at some point, some young reader, some family is going to pick that book up and realize what feeding the starter is, or realize that they have their own secret sauce. And so knowing that that's going to happen at some point,
Mhm.
is going to get me fired up. And then just, yeah, staying focused on the here and now, and realizing that we just have this one day.
Mhm.
And I don't want to get too personal with you, but I know you and I have a lot of similarities with our health challenges, and we both live in pain, and it does get to be hard to get up each day when your body's telling you no.
Mhm.
But I think that's where you get some encouragement and inspiration, and you do that for me as well. But just to, hey, this is the only day I got, and this is what I got to deal with. All right, let me do the things that I can control,
Mhm.
and work through these challenges and do the best that I can for that day. And maybe your best is only 70% that day, but that's
Mhm.
all you have. And learning how to be good with that. And then if we're blessed to wake up the next day, all right,
Mhm.
well, maybe we can feel a little bit better and notch that up to 80.
Mhm.
But just not even being so attached to what's going to happen in the future, but just try to stay focused more so on the here and now.
Right. Well, I think the one thing that I have learned going through the process with, good and bad days, as you described, is number one, I have to give myself a grace. I have to say, it's okay to have a bad day and not get everything done that I want. But second of all, it's made me look at goals a little bit differently. It makes me look at goals and say, what is the minimum acceptable instead of what do I really want? Because want is just some nebulous thing that we've made up in our head, where minimums are concrete. You know how many words you want to get done in a day, that, or how many pages, or however you keep track of it, or how many hours you want to put into it, that's going to make you feel satisfied that you accomplished. And that's why I tell people, just start with that. Because if you continue to sail past that minimum, you feel good. But if you have that really high watermark and you're struggling to get there, then you're never feeling that sense of accomplishment. It
Yeah.
feels like an uphill walk, and that you're never going to get to the peak, and it causes frustration, it causes this sense of self-doubt and
Mm,
self-recrimination. So I just think that we have to again give ourselves grace
mm,
and really look at our goals and see what is reasonable and what is just something we made up in our head.
mm. I love that. And I'll add on to that of when you hit that sweet spot and you're feeling good, don't get greedy. Don't get greedy, because our minds work if you can leave kind of yourself hanging, so to say. Man, I can't wait to get to that tomorrow and to finish that. Now, right out of the gate, you come with more creativity, because you and your brain's going to make those connections as you're sleeping. And then you get up, you're just going to wake up energized, wake up ready to go, wake up ready to knock out that next little part of your story. And
Mhm.
that's something that helps me, of not trying to do everything and to leave a little something
Mhm.
for the next day.
Right, because I always try to end, if I'm writing and I feel like I've gotten to the end of that scene or whatever was in my head, I always end with questions. What
Hmm.
happens next?
Hmm.
Where are they going next? Why did they do that? Because at least it gives me kind of an open end to keep going forward, because it's sometimes I've seen this where you're working on a scene and you get all the way to the end and you're just done and you're just like, now what? Well, write that down. Now
Yeah,
what?
yeah. I love it. I love it.
So, um, so I want to know, after now 2 books, what advice would you offer to other authors and writers, especially new ones?
Yeah, well, you already said it. Give yourself grace, and just trust the process. Put the pen to paper, and then I would say, before all that I just said right there, just get out in nature. Get out in nature. Give yourself time to just be and sit and think. And when you're in that space, all right, well, what is the story that is inside me that is waiting to come out? And
Exactly.
then, yeah. And then after you start figuring out what that is, then just like we talked about before, figure out when you're at your best as far as your most creative side, schedule that time, and then just start writing. Just start writing. And it will happen. And it just, I know I've said it 3 or 4 times. You've said it 3 or 4 times. Trust the process.
Mhm.
Each and every person has a book inside them. And if you have the desire to be an author, you can do it. Donna's amazing at helping she helped me. I got 2 books now. Definitely without her, I wouldn't have jack squat. So Donna's your resource, but you have it inside you to be able to do it. Just get organized, get in that right space, and make it happen.
Well, yeah, and I'm just going to add to that. It doesn't have to be this huge time commitment. I mean, I've seen authors write a lot of books and get through them pretty quickly, just devoting 15 to 20 minutes a day. We all have 15 to 20 minutes. Skip one of those sitcoms, that you watch week after week. You can catch up later. It's like they're all on repeat now anyway. So, give yourself that momentum. And you do have to make choices in life. I mean, you and I know that really well. We have to make choices. If we do this, we can't do that. And it's the same thing with anything that you're really wanting to achieve. You have to make choices. What is leading me toward my goal? What is pulling me away from it? So don't feel like you have to commit to 8 hours a day or 4 hours a day. In fact, I wrote my first book, which is over 200 pages, writing 15 minutes every night before I went to bed in about a month. Because what happens a lot of times is you start with that 15 minutes and then you look up and it's been an hour and you didn't even notice.
Yeah.
So it's about getting started. So since again we're devoting most of season 2 to reviews, I want you to write your own review for Lucy's Secret Sauce.
Man, you're giving me these tough questions. It's a great question. Uh, I guess I would say I love how the author puts his heart into creating a book that's going to inspire every reader to realize they have their own secret sauce. And he's provided a recipe to bring that out in each and every person. And I think it would be that simple. That's it. I'm gonna drop the mic on that right there. Yeah, boom, baby. That's it.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And that's a really good on the fly review. As you can tell, we're talking about reviews, and I'm making a point here because it's just that simple. Lead with your heart and tell us what you think. That's what a review is. So we're going to go ahead and close this out a little bit. We want to, of course, tell them where they can find your first book, which is We Rise Together in the Pizza Days series. And then also we're going to reiterate the release date of Lucy's Secret Sauce is June 23rd of this year, 2023. So it will be out. It should be up for pre-order, we believe, like next week. Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely will be up by next week. And then I would love to direct people. It's not there yet, but hopefully by next week to pizzadays.org, going to have a special on the first and second book that you can buy. And again, our nonprofit is very unique. 100% of proceeds go towards a nonprofit, and the nonprofit is run by 100% volunteer staff. So all these books, all the pizza work that we do is everybody just giving their heart to serve other people. And so very unique from that standpoint. So we would love the listeners, if you are going to buy the book, I would love you to go to pizzadays.org. Nothing against Amazon, but they got enough money coming in already. And we get a bigger take of the proceeds that allows us to do these rise ups, which are free events for different communities. And if you're interested in your community having a C4 rise up, reach out to me, Jeff at c4leaders.org. And we'd love to come break bread together.
Okay, just to let the audience know, of course, we always will have all of the links for you in the show notes, so don't worry about having to write those down. But we do want to direct you to his 2 websites. But his book is also available at most bookstores worldwide, independent bookstores, Barnes and Noble, Amazon, also Apple Books, and all of the other places where you would normally buy books. But of course, in Jeff's instance, we do want to try and direct you to pizzadays.org. Again, as he said, 100% of the profits for Pizza Days series goes to the C4 Leaders, which is a nonprofit organization. So having said that, I know you're also on social media, so can you share with us where they can find you and follow you on social media?
Yeah, I think the simplest one is just Instagram, and that's at C4 Leaders. I'll give a tip. I know you're always big for tips. And so I'll share one that I just recently ran across, and it's called Handshake. And it's an app that, in this case, authors, nonprofits can go to and get an intern from a local college. And I'm in the Bay Area, so I have probably 7 or 8 different colleges that I reached out to through that app that students, should they want to join, in this case, our movement of using pizza to bring people together, then they have the option to do that. And I'm currently working with an amazing student from Chico State. Danica, I'll give you some love. Thank you for all your help. And she's a marketing intern. And so that's going to be huge for me. But she's in the process of creating Twitter and all these other TikTok and all this other stuff that I should be doing, but I choose not to do. It's not my strength. So Instagram is about it for me.
Okay. Well, once we get all of that information from Jeff, of course, we'll go in and update the show notes. But for right now, you can find him on Instagram. I also believe Jeff is on Facebook. But again, we'll have all those links for you in the show notes. And of course, don't forget to go follow us at the Writer's Parachute. We are at Writer Parachute with no S on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. But let's get to the end of the show here. I know you guys have been waiting for it, so we always have a tip of the week. So again, Jeff brought up that he was struggling with time and organization and just getting the work done. Now, we talked a little bit and we gave you a few tips, but I want to go a little bit further into that. So one of my highest recommendations, and when I find something that works, I let people know. So first of all, think about technology. We carry around these amazing devices in our pocket all the time. There's a plethora of apps that will help you. If you're out walking or running or whatever you're doing, you're exercising and you're working through that, don't forget you have the capability to put in your headphones and speech to text or record what you're thinking, so you have those notes. You don't have to worry about losing them. So I always say look for tech options that will help you. They're time-saving devices. Number 2, let's talk about how to get organized and create that time. We talked about making time, adding it to your schedule as an appointment, but there's a little prep work involved to get yourself into that mind space where you're being creative. Now, you may figure out the time of day when you want to be creative, but we're human, life gets in the way. And so, what I suggest, one of my highest recommendations is the book called The Writer's, or excuse me, it's called, it's called The Artist Way, and it's by Julia Cameron. Yeah, her book is for pretty much any kind of creative person, and it talks about the different ways to prepare yourself to be creative. And one of the things that she talks about is called morning pages. Now, it doesn't have to be morning pages; it doesn't even have to be done in the morning. It can be done at any time. What she's talking about is sitting down before you get into that creative space and just getting all the garbage out of your head, all the woulda, shoulda, couldas, all the things you need to do. I need to make a dentist appointment. I need to go to the grocery store. Oh, don't forget to take the dog to the vet. Write all those things down, because in the act of writing them down, or even speaking them, if you want to use your phone or whatever device, gets it cleared out of your head. So it's not interrupting, it's not getting between you and that creative process. For me, I mean, it's silly, but I can't write if I have dishes in my sink. So my creative process is to go, clean the dishes out of my sink. So that gets me in the right mindset. Other people have certain music they like to listen to, certain lighting, favorite pen, whatever you want to use. But I want you to think about what helps you get into that creative space as fast as possible. And as far as organizing, you can be as organized as possible, but again, that's more of a left side brain sort of thing, and creativity is more of a right side. So you have to think about those. Yes, they work together, but in this particular case, they kind of work on two sides of a coin. Yes, you want to be organized, but that is, again, going to be in your pre-creative routine and your post-creative routine that you're going to worry about organization, other than get it on your schedule. But don't think so much about organizing, because you're trying to be creative. You're trying to not build walls, boxes, or draw lines or anything like that. You want to be able to free flow and let the ideas come forward. So yes, you do want to organize, but I want you to think that is more of a pre or post creative time, part of your organization, or part of getting yourself in and out of that creative space. So just take a few of these tips, think about it, and sit down and tell your story. You don't have to have all of it perfect. It's a process. You're going to learn the best time of day to write. You're going to learn what kind of writing. Some people like to write on a computer or a tablet. Some people like to write by hand. Some people use a voice to text kind of thing. So, play around with these things, figure out what works best for you. But most of all, the biggest thing that I will say about creating the time, the space, and the organization is just tell the story. Everything else will fall into place once you tell the story. So that's all we have for you guys today. Thank you for showing up again for the Writer's Parachute. We are in season 2. Thank Jeff for showing up today. Was there anything else that you would like to share with the audience before we go?
Other than I love you and appreciate you so much, and I cannot have done all that I've done without you. And listeners, she's the best. And yeah, make sure you subscribe and reach out to her, because she is just an amazing person and has so much creativity inside her, and totally changed my life. So thank you, Donna, for everything.
Thank you. Wow. See, he just wrote a review for me too. Isn't that amazing? So he's good at these review things. So I am so glad and so thankful that you guys are returning. Don't forget, we're on YouTube and we're on every channel that offers podcasts, so you can catch us there. And of course, we welcome you to come back week after week. We'll have more episodes with more authors and people associated with the author and writing industry. I'm always here hosting the Writer's Parachute, and we hope all of you have a creative space and that you can land your parachute well in the future. Until next time, bye.